Hey guys, what's going on? Back with another video. Happy Wednesday to you. It's that time of the week again for the last time of this football season of this year until, I guess, September when football starts up again. We're going to do not really picks. There's really just one pick. We're picking one game. Super Bowl this Sunday. Philadelphia Eagles, New England Patriots. So for every week of the regular season, I believe what I did was I just went through every game that week, talked about them, picked who I thought was going to win. And then in the video, I'll show a video of the game of the week, wherever the best matchup is. Actually, for this week, what I did is, I didn't play as one of the teams like I usually do. I actually set it up as a simulation. And so I let Madden, figure it out itself. So you can, if you didn't know you can do that, I actually didn't know that until a few years ago. You can actually change the camera so, you're not playing as the team. It's both the computer and you're just watching the game like it's a real game. It actually looks like you're watching a real game, which I think is pretty neat. And we'll see who Madden thinks is going to win this game. I actually saw the official EA Sports simulation that they did. They said the Patriots are going to win 24-20 according to that, which I think is predicted 10 of the last 15 or 9 of the last 30. It's fairly accurate. So we'll see what this thing spits out here. See what it comes up with. So anyways, Super Bowl this weekend, obviously. I'm all gung-ho for this thing. I did I don't know, I've been doing some Super Bowl themed videos, stuff like that. I'm not going this year. I went last year. You can check out the vlog on my channel, Super Bowl 51 vlog. Of course, it was Super Bowl 52. I went last year. I was in Houston, so it was, it's a warm place, whereas now it's in Minnesota. So, I mean, you really, I don't know. I think that, in my opinion, that takes away from it. Most of the stuff's in the Mall of America, and that's cool, and there's a lot of cool stuff there to do, but it's friggin', hold on a minute, let's just check this out. I don't want to, make this up here. Hey Siri. Hold on, try it again. Hey Siri. What is the temperature in Minneapolis?
Pretty cold in Minneapolis, Minnesota. 24 degrees.
Alright, 24 degrees. So, it's not really much of a vacation or anything like that, but, anyway. So I didn't go for that, and among other reasons. But nonetheless, I'm all gung-ho for this. And I really had a lot of fun going last year in Houston. Went to the Space Center. Nice and it was warm. I was really surprised that, because I was thinking you're gonna wait in line for an hour and it's just gonna be so mobbed. It was really in and out. I was really impressed with the whole thing. It was really seamless going on that. I mean, it kind of hurts you in the pocket, but that's another story. Anyways, so Eagles Patriots this Sunday. So overall, I mean, I gotta be honest with you. This season sucks. I've been watching football for a long time, or at least a long time is what I'd say. A good amount of time here. Ever since not obviously I'm not old, so it's not since friggin' leather helmets and stuff like that. But the modern era NFL, very familiar with it. And I gotta say, this is the worst season I think I've ever seen. Not saying that there wasn't a worse one, just in my conscious experience with football and stuff like that. I cannot remember a worse season than this season, and there's a ton of reasons for that. First of all, the primary reason is the amount of injuries. There was more talent on injured reserve this year than there was on the field. I mean, think about it. Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, Carson Wentz. I'm sure I'm forgetting half the guy, friggin' Odell Beckham Jr., Julian Edelman. You can go down the list. I don't forget most of the names, but it just felt like anybody. Richard Sherman. Was Earl Thomas too? That whole, pretty much everybody on Seattle. The whole damn league was just hurt this year. It's pretty much all the talented players were out. Which really, you just got garbage. You got teams winning 6-0. Winning 7-5, which is what's that, a field goal and going for 2? Not going for 2. I mean, like a safety, just garbage, no talent, just terrible. Third string. Yeah, just a horrible season. And that's not the only reason why. Obviously, there's that. You got the player protest drama. You got the Ezekiel Elliott drama, the concussion drama, the Goodell drama, the Jerry Jones drama, just all that stuff. Coaching, I think there's really no, other than Bill Belichick, there's really not any good coaches left in the NFL. I mean, there's some coaches that, they've been in the league a while, Mike Tomlin's been in Pittsburgh for a long time. But, I mean, you saw what he did, with clock management and just game management in the end of the Patriots game in Week 15. In the divisional round game against the Jags, there's that. Ben McAdoo benches Eli Manning for no reason, gets fired right after that. Just no plan at all, no idea of really what he's doing, at least by all objective measures. So there's that. Just friggin' Mike McCarthy, Aaron Rodgers goes down, just can't. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say can't, but that team was done. I mean, stick a fork in them after that. Just bad coaching. I mean, I'd say when Tom Coughlin got fired a couple seasons ago, I think Coughlin was the last, other than Bill Belichick, the last good, solid coach, because Coughlin beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl twice, and he really always had Bill's number. And I think they came both, I think, from similar backgrounds, as far as coaching trees go and things like that. But if you look at who's left now in the league as far as coaching goes, just game managers, people that, when you have to decide, okay, we're gonna go for 2 here, we're gonna play, just those series, it's the fourth quarter, it's 4th and 3, you're at the opposing team's 42, just those critical decisions. Most of the coaches in the league just can't make them. There's just bad decision making, bad, can't manage a team, can't manage play. It's bad. And in this season in particular, was really, I mean, you go into the season, and I think the tone was really set in Week 1. You had Patriots, everyone thought they were going undefeated, and they got, just torched by the Chiefs Week 1. Then, you just got injury after injury after injury. The protest issue was just, I mean, that's all, people talked more about that than the actual football games. Just bad, just horrible, just a horrible season, I think. So then I'm thinking, going into the playoffs, well, of course, the only fitting conclusion to this is we got a garbage Super Bowl, which we very could well have had, because the final 4 teams was obviously the Patriots and Tom Brady. But outside of that, you had Blake Bortles and the Jags, Nick Foles and the Eagles, Case Keenum and the Vikings. I mean, and Case Keenum actually played well this year, but still, it's not like it's not like the Steelers are there. It's not like the Seahawks are there. It's not like the Cowboys are there or the Rams or it's just a bunch of misfit toys that really, because every other team, like for instance, think about it this way. In the AFC South, you had the Titans and the Jags make the playoffs. Do you think if Andrew Luck on the Colts and Deshaun Watson on the Texans, the other 2 teams in the AFC South, do you think if they were healthy this year, the Jags and the Titans would have been anywhere near the playoffs? Not a shot. I mean, the Jags, possibly, but you're not getting 3 teams out of the same division. And they were, 10-6 anyways, I believe. So it's just crap, And so in the end, you got the Eagles, which is personally that was my pick out of the NFC, or that's who I wanted to make to the Super Bowl, because they have not, they've never won the Super Bowl. They haven't been since Super Bowl 39, which was also against the Pats back in 04-05. So I mean that's new. The Vikings fans kind of sucked. That was annoying. I didn't really want to see them. I guess the Saints would have been interesting, but they choked. So it's just that's what you got. You got the Eagles, which I'm pleased with. This, at least it's a new team. It's not just the same teams again. Speaking of which, the Patriots are. I mean, everybody. It's pretty much the Patriots Invitational at this point. I mean, you understand. The Patriots have made it to the AFC Championship game every year since 2011 or 2010, I think 2011. So for 8 straight years, you go to the AFC Championship game and you go to the Super Bowl. What's that, 4 out of 8 times? 4 out of 8 times you made it to the Super Bowl, and you made it to the AFC Championship game 8 straight years, and 4 of those years you go to the Super Bowl, and 3 of them you're going on 3. If they win this game, you won. That's just insane. So it's everybody, of course, everybody thought the Patriots were going, which isn't much of a surprise. But anyways, that's how we got to this point. And so, as far as this game goes, you got Nick Foles. Or if Carson Wentz was playing, I'd pick the Eagles. I would, because the Patriots. I've watched a lot of football. The Patriots have been bad this year. They've been. Not bad. I mean, they're in the Super Bowl. You can't be. You have to be pretty good to get to that point. You got Tom Brady and everything like that. But as far as the Patriots standards go, they were like the 07 team, 18-0, and lose to the Giants. But or you know, like the 2014 team when they played the Seahawks. Like that 2014 Patriots team was a legit all-time team. Like that was a team, man. If you think back to that, they had you know, they obviously got Brady, they got Gronk, they had Darrelle Revis was on that team, Brandon Browner, Malcolm Butler, you had another tight end there with the Hawaiian guy there. They had you know, Edelman. They had another receiver. Who was it? LaFell. They had Hightower was playing. I think they had who else? They had Jamie Collins, Chandler Jones, I believe, were on them. It's like just, you know, that was a stacked team, and they almost lost to the Seahawks because the Seahawks were a very talented, well-coached team. So like that was like the last time where you just had like that. Those were two all-time great teams. That was a great game. Whereas now, I mean, the Patriots are still in it because all the other teams kind of sucked. Like if Mike Tomlin knew how to manage the end of that Week 15 game, the Steelers would have won, and the Patriots would have had to go to Pittsburgh. And I mean, you can play the what-if game all day long, but nonetheless, you know, this is the Patriots. You know, they sucked for the first 4 weeks of the season. The defense was like just a national emergency. That defense was bad. You know, they couldn't set the edge. They couldn't defend the run. They couldn't. There's more that they couldn't do than what they could do. I mean, that defense really sucks. But in the offense too, they lose Edelman, and really those are two critical things. Like when you're really, I think it starts. To be honest with you, I think losing Julian Edelman in the preseason in Week 3. That's the only game you really play your starters. I think that is actually responsible for most of the problems they've had this year. So you think about it, Edelman, the way he plays, the way the Patriots play, you know, Brady gets rid of the ball really quickly to Edelman because he's just a quick, short, little guy. He gets open really fast. And so what happens is you take him out of the equation. Brady has to hold the ball longer, put stress on your offensive line. Now, your offensive line has to hold the pass rush for longer. You can't do that, or at least for as long, or as, you know, for longer than you've had to in the past when you had Edelman. So now you get pressure on the quarterback, you sack the quarterback, you hit the quarterback, like just, and then your passing yards, completions, QBR goes down. You can't move the ball as well. You're more dependent on stuff that's down the field that takes longer to get open, which compounds the problem because now your offensive line has to hold for even longer. You can't score as many points. You know, you can see how it all kind of falls apart from there. On the defensive side of the ball, they just sucked. Like there's really no. I mean, I guess you could say they had, you know, really poor pass rush, and I'll get all into the Eagles too. You know, poor pass rush. You know, which is the opposite of the problem that they have with their offense, which gives opposing quarterbacks much more time. You know, really mobile quarterbacks, they couldn't stop that. You know, just getting. I think back to like, I think who was it? They played like the Panthers. Who Patriots have played the Panthers twice, I think. Last time was in 2013, and they lost both times because, like, for some reason, the games where they played the Panthers were just two rare occasions when they sucked. Like 2013, you know, they had a stretch there where they were bad, which they played the Panthers, and it was the same thing at the beginning of this year. So that's kind of explains it. It was just kind of like, you know, makes you think like the Panthers have their number. They don't. They just sucked the times that they played them. But, you know, I just kind of observed that this season. But, you know, nonetheless, you know, the outside runs, you know, all the stuff, they just couldn't stop in that game. And it was pretty much the story of the season. Like, even until now, they've gotten much better, which is a credit to Bill Belichick, of course. Bill Belichick is, I think, the greatest coach of all time. Just able to turn that, just, you know, fill in the blank, just bag of rubbish that the Patriots were at the first 4 weeks of the season and work on it. Figure out the problems, fix them, coach the guys up, and now they're in the Super Bowl. Like, that's something only Bill can do. I think Bill Parcells was good at that, too, back in his day. Bill Parcells, you know, didn't win the most, but he was notorious for going to a bunch of teams that were crap and turning them into contenders, which, you know, I think there's a show on tonight about Bill Parcells, I think, on ESPN. But anyways, don't get sidetracked. So that's why they're here, is because Bill, you know, he put the Band-Aids, the Scotch tape, you know, he you know, put Humpty Dumpty back together, and, you know, now they're good enough to compete in the Super Bowl. On the Eagles side of things, Oh, and then the other thing with the Patriots is, of course, you know, they get to the postseason, the Titans suck. You know, Steelers get knocked out. You're playing the Jags, and they struggle in that game. I mean, the thing about beating the Patriots is the Jaguars showed it to. I mean, there's really one book on beating the Patriots. There's only one way you're going to beat them. For part of it has to do with they have to kind of beat themselves and not play that well. But, you know, like the Giants did it in both Super Bowls. The Texans did it last year, even though the Texans lost. It's because they had friggin' Brock Osweiler as the quarterback. Jags did it, you know, in this year until they kind of, you know, ran out of steam. But the way you beat the Patriots is you have to be able to you control the clock, right? You have to win time of possession. You run the ball. You got to have success running the ball. Just keep the clock moving. Keep Brady on the sidelines, right? Go down, score. Just be able to play that way. Play, you know, in your terms. Then on defense, you have to be able to bring pressure on Brady without blitzing. You cannot blitz Tom Brady or you're going to get torched. Because if you're blitzing and you're bringing guys in to rush the quarterback, those are guys that are not covering receivers. And guys get open and it just doesn't work. You get torched. But if you can bring pressure with your front four without blitzing, and you can make him, you know, knock him off his spot, keep guys covered, that's how you beat the Patriots. You have to do those two things, or you're going to lose. Which are, you know, the Jacksonville showed you that, you know, a couple weeks ago, a week and a half ago, too. So there's that, and then the question is, are those things the Eagles are good at? So the Eagles. Carson Wentz is a legit. That guy's a bad dude. All right, Carson Wentz looks like Brett Favre, like in his prime, like some like late '90s Green Bay Packers Brett Favre, just slinging the ball, just friggin' getting hit, you know, throwing on just crazy Brett Favre shit. Like that's Carson Wentz looks a lot like that. He's a you know, he's not running the ball. He's not one of these, you know, he's not Cam Newton or Russell Wilson or, you know, one of these flashy guys. No, he just stands in the pocket, just stands there, takes all the shit, and slings the ball. He just that's my kind of quarterback, to be honest with you. Like I hate that like Cam Newton running around garbage or the. I mean, Russell Wilson's got a good arm. I mean, who else does a lot of that? Just, I mean, I don't know. Any quarterback that makes it all about them and like, you know, Cam Newton doesn't dive on the ball in the Super Bowl, just that I hate that. But Carson Wentz. Like, for instance, like I think Deshaun Watson, which is so annoying he got hurt because he was great. Really, like, he's like almost like if you mixed Russell Wilson with Cam Newton, you know, he kind of like had both. Like, he could run, he was physical, he could, you know, just whatever. I'm getting sidetracked. But Carson Wentz, on the other hand, is just a freaking gunslinger. Like on some like, you know, Brett Favre, friggin' Drew Bledsoe, friggin', you know, Ben Roethlisberger, just that physical, you know, just slinging the ball. He's not the biggest guy, but he's a gunslinger, you know. And that Eagles team, now part of it, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm not going to make this up, even though it's kind of been superseded by other things that have taken place. You know, namely the fact that they beat the Falcons in a close game. The Falcons are a good team that, you know, they made it to the playoffs, and they were able to win a close game and make good decisions to do so. And then blow out the Vikings, or, you know, in the NFC Championship game. You have to be pretty good to get there, at least I would think. Maybe not this year, but, you know, it's a topic for another day. But the Eagles, I pretty much, you know, made fun of, but I pointed it out in all my videos. You can go back and see. Pretty much every week I would say, all right, yeah, Eagles are good. They're doing well, but who have they played? You know, like their one loss was to the Chiefs, who early in the season were a good team, before they just, you know, totally crapped their pants. But nonetheless, you know, they won. They were, you know, friggin' what, like 11-1, 10-1, 11-2. You know, I think they ultimately finished 13-3. But for a long time, they were just winning every week, and they were really good. But I always said, you know, who have they played? You know, when you play a good team, are you gonna, you know, because when you're, it's one thing to just blow out like the Browns every week, right? But if you get behind to the, you know, against, you know, I don't know, like the Steelers or, you know, just a good team, those decisions you have to make in that situation, can they make those decisions? And that was always the question. Now, they kind of answered that when they beat the Falcons in a close game in the NFC divisional round and blew out the Vikings. I mean, that kind of, you know, they're legit. Of course, Carson Wentz gets injured, but it's a lot like Blake Bortles and the Jags. Like, Blake Bortles sucks, but the Jags defense is terrific. Their run game is good with Leonard Fournette. They got good, short range passing options, things like that. So when your quarterback sucks, you have a good defense, good running game, good dink and dunk routes. You can kind of, massage the fact that your quarterback, you kind of like hide the fact your quarterback sucks and kind of like, tune up other parts of your game to compensate, which I feel like Nick Foles is better than Blake Bortles, but it's the same kind of situation. Like the Eagles, if the Patriots, take away Jay Ajayi and LeGarrette Blount, and who was on the Patriots last year, I'm not a big LeGarrette Blount fan. I mean, like, say any friggin' power back. I just don't know. I don't like. That's why they're like name 4 power backs that are left in the league. Okay, Adrian Peterson's washed up. He's a bum. He's done. You can't count him. Marshawn Lynch, same thing. So, like, who else? Like, I guess Ezekiel Elliott, but Ezekiel Elliott's is more of like a nuanced, talented kind of. He can, he can create the lanes and juke, and he's physically built to be able to have momentum and go forward. Guys like Blount and those other guys just run up to the line, and if the gap's not there, they just fall down. Like, that's not, you can have your LeGarrette Blount. But Jay Ajayi is a friggin' weapon. I have no idea why the Dolphins traded him, man. He was their best player. So you got him. So the question's going to be, if Bill Belichick, it's not really a question. The Patriots are going to do this because they always do it. If they take away the Eagles' best weapon, if they take away Ajayi, right, they shut down the run game. The RPOs, run pass option plays that the Eagles do. They take away the short, in cuts, and they force Nick Foles to step back in the pocket, step up, and just make big boy throws down the field. Can he do it? That's the question. The Eagles, the only way they win this game is if the answer to that question is yes. Because the Patriots are taking away the run game, they're taking away the short routes, and they're going to say, okay, all right, fine, we'll take that stuff away, and if you want to try to throw the ball deep on us, then, good luck, Nick Foles. Career backup, Nick Foles. Didn't he score like 40 points? I mean, it's inconsistent. He's had his shining moments, I'll say that. But nonetheless, he's not Carson Wentz. If Carson Wentz was in this game, like I said, I would pick the Eagles to win. But because when you have Carson Wentz, he can throw the ball, throw it deep, throw it short, run the ball. They can do everything, right? Whereas now, if they take away those, the RPOs and the run game and make Nick Foles, move around the pocket, get chased out of the pocket, throw on the run, pull plays out of his, behind. Can he do it? I don't think so. So, based upon that fact, I'm picking the Patriots to win this game. Not like it's, like an unbelievable pick. I mean, I think they're favored by like 5. But if Carson Wentz was in the game, I'd pick the Eagles. I would pick the friggin' Eagles because it's a high-flying, no pun intended. Well, actually, yeah, sure, pun intended. Physical team, fast, good defense, good front four, good run game, great quarterback. Like, they have all the things you need. The other problem with the Eagles is coaching. So Doug Peterson was coaching friggin' high school teams not too long ago. Think about this, okay? Backup quarterback Nick Foles, and for all intents and purposes, rookie head coach who coached high school not too long ago, Doug Peterson, are facing off against Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. That's not even fair. Like, that's just, I mean, I'm not talking about it because the Eagles, they're going to score points. They're going to do, well, at least I believe. But when I'm talking about when it's the fourth quarter and you have to make decisions. Like, I heard that the Eagles, I was reading, or no, I think I was listening to some Philadelphia radio. I wanted to hear what they're saying. The Eagles decide when they're going on fourth down, but like they have like a computer math thing. Like, it's not the coach doesn't decide. It's like, all right, well, if it's this many yards and this down and this part of the field, it's like green means do it, red is don't, and yellow is like decide, right? So it's like your head coach is like leaving it up to like some algorithm to figure out whether or not they should do it. Even though I will say they're like one of the most successful teams on fourth down. But if your coach is of the sort where you need to do math to make a play call, that's saying a lot about your coach. At least that brain trust there. So if the Eagles get ahead in this game, like you know, then again, the Falcons got ahead by like 25 points last year and lost. But if the Eagles get ahead in this game and play a full 60-minute game, they can win. But if they get behind, they're screwed. Because there's no way they're going to think their way through that. They just don't have the experience between their backup quarterback and, you know, a head coach who, you know, I mean, like I said, you know, was coaching high school. How long ago was that? I know he did, but I don't know if it was, I mean, hold on a second. Doug Peterson. Just want to, you know, get my facts straight with this thing here. Okay. Coaching career, high school, 2005. Okay, 2005. He was offensive quality, whatever the hell that means, for the Eagles. 2009. Offensive coordinator, Chiefs, 2013, and was hired by the Eagles in 2016. All right, so really, you got Bill Belichick, who's been coaching almost as long as this guy's been alive. So that tells you everything you need to know about that. So that's what I was thinking. If the Eagles get ahead and they play 60 minutes and the Patriots make mistakes, the Eagles will win, or could win. If the Eagles get behind, they're screwed. The thing's over because the Patriots know how to finish a game. Well, then again, the other thing I do want to mention was, so 2 years ago, so in the 2015 regular season game against the Eagles won. But then again, that was with Chip Kelly, and that was just different time. And the reason the Eagles won that game was because it was late in the season. The whole Patriots team, they were all hurt. They're playing, the whole team was missing. They're just playing these, you know, just scrubs. You know, like some like ninth string, just some, you know, Joe Schmo they signed on the street, right? They you know, they were bad. They got ahead in that game and then just completely, like, I remember the end of that season. I think, was that the season? Yeah, I think that was the season when, like, Bill Belichick, he just started, like, you know, calling, like, trick plays and getting cocky, and they ended up losing home field and having to go to Denver where they lost AFC Championship game. But you know, like, that was the last time they played the Eagles, but it's a different Eagles team, different coach, different quarterback. You know, and it's a Super Bowl. The Patriots aren't going to make those mistakes. But, you know, anyways, that's what I think about this game. So, anyways, that's what I got. I got the Patriots. If I had to call the score, I'm going to go ahead and say I think the line for this game is 5. Madden predicted 24-20, or at least the EA Sports one did. I'm going to say... And by the way, another thing, the Patriots have never scored in the first quarter, and the Eagles have never won a Super Bowl. So... I find that hard to believe the Patriots, they've never scored in the first quarter. Like, and none of theirs, they just don't, or at least, I guess with Brady, I don't know exactly. I just heard that on, like, ESPN or something. But I got the Patriots winning 31. Yeah, I know. 31-21. That's what I got. You know, they're going to get the Eagles got field goals. Actually, I shouldn't say 21. It was 21, 7 times 3, 3 touchdowns. 31-24. I get the Eagles. There has to be some kind of... They're going to get some field goals because the Patriots will keep them from getting touched. They'll kick field goals, so you have to mix in the number 3 in there. But yeah, that's what I got. If Carson Wentz was in there, I'd pick the Eagles, but today's not that day. All right, guys, well, that's going to do it for this video, and that's going to do it for this season. I hope you enjoyed watching these videos, or, you know, hearing me, you know, yap about sports. If you did, you got any ideas, you know, what you're thinking about the game, let me know in the comments down below. But other than that, I'm kind of sad, actually. Like, this is it until friggin' September. We got 9, well, no, like 8. We got like 8 months. Hold on, I suck at math. Hold on, 6 months. 6, and February's next week, so 6. Yeah, 6 and... No. Bullshit. What are you doing? 7 months. So yeah, 7 and 2 is 9. God. 9 September. Good God. I'm bad at math. Man, I'm bad at math. Alright. That was embarrassing. Well, not really. Forget it. But there you go. So we'll be back in September doing some more picks. But other than that, that'll do it for this season, guys. Thanks for watching.